My name is Cecilia La Place. I'm a PhD student in engineering education at Arizona State University, studying hackathons to redesign technologist education. Before my PhD, I got my bachelor's and master's in software engineering. But my start in tech began in a graphic design class my sophomore year of high school. We were working through a tutorial on making a website using Dreamweaver, and depending on what you wanted to do, you could drag and drop and click around, or type in the changes yourself. So there I was, typing up a mad storm in HTML, CSS, and JavaScript files. I felt so powerful being able to make change with just a few keystrokes. Then, in my senior year, one of the new additions to the course electives was a programming course, AP Computer Science. I was timidly curious, but I did it anyway. It challenged me in a completely different way than math or biology or chemistry had. Learning to think like a programmer was really hard. So hard, I switched my incoming major from graphic design to software engineering. No way was I going to let myself not understand how to code. And in terms of challenges, that first one was learning computational thinking. And it was a repeated lesson to be learned every semester of undergrad. But there were other challenges too. I'm a woman of color, and at the time, you didn't find many minorities or women, much less women of color, in undergrad technology courses. I was one of 3 or 4 women overall in my classes, which had about 60 people in them. It was very much a male-dominated space. I frequently acted like I was one of the guys to protect myself. And the cocoon of safety I built was also lonely, and it took its toll. I didn't have anyone to talk to about the problems that existed, nor did I have support to help me navigate tech as a woman of color. And by the end of my sophomore year, I was thoroughly convinced that I wasn't going to find a job in industry or finish my degree. I spent a good few months trying to figure out what to do if I dropped out of the program. Did I go to another degree? Did I drop out completely? Frozen by indecisiveness, I kept sinking. I didn't know how to apply for internships or how to study for tech interviews. I felt so behind listening to classmates talk about the projects they did in their free time. I worked odd jobs throughout undergrad. I didn't have that kind of free time or the connections to learn from. The imposter syndrome was horrible. The weight of being a woman of color was unavoidably heavy, and no one could see it but me. I had to work twice as hard to be seen as adequate to my peers. Well, I've gotten 2 degrees in software now, so I obviously didn't drop out. So what changed? Well, first, there's a faculty I really admire who's a woman of color. Even though she was the only woman in the department at the time, she was and is impressive. It felt like we were in the same circumstances, but I saw her, and she saw me too. Second, I was effectively dragged to a hackathon, and from that thrilling weekend experience, I came back recharged. Hackathons reminded me that programs crashing and failing and breaking is normal. It's just another learning exercise, not a fault. It was dichotomous to the way failure implied fault within classroom settings. The hackathon community took me in when I needed it most. Third, I was a math and computer science tutor who worked with a lot of tech students who struggled, just like I did. Seeing their tenacity, their refusal to give up, I did everything in my power to teach them what I had learned, technology and coping mechanisms and everything in between, so they would never feel like I did. I would be the mentor for them that I never had. Today, I'm most empowered and inspired by them. Sadly, those feelings of inadequacy, of having to work twice or thrice or however many times as hard just to be seen, are really common, especially for women of color. In fact, there are plenty of stories we still haven't heard. There are systemic problems beyond our control at play. Furthermore, graduation rates for women and people of color are barely increasing in areas of STEM, particularly computer science and engineering. According to Engineering by the Numbers, in 2019, where most schools fold computer science into their reporting, only 21.9% of bachelor engineering degrees are awarded to women. It's only a 3% raise for women since 2009. By ethnicity, Black people only earn 4.2%, Hispanic or Latina people only earn 11.1%, Asian people earn 14.6%. And Indigenous peoples, Hawaiian Pacific Islanders, and mixed ethnicities combined earned 3.8%. There's only been a 0.2 to 0.3% increase in the graduation of engineers of color in the last few years. Since 2009, the overall percentage has raised between 0.5 and 4% across different races and ethnicities. So what causes these low numbers? Research has repeatedly shown that engineering and computer science are cold environments. They don't create safe spaces for women, non-dominant races and ethnicities, disabled people, LGBTQ+, and many others. Engineering and computer science have not been inclusive or supportive of non-dominant groups. But everything is ever-changing, as it should be. Grace Hopper, a pioneer of computer science, once said, "The most damaging phrase in the language is we've always done it this way." I don't deny engineering and CS have a lot of work to do, but faculty, PhD students like me, CEOs, companies, advocates, community members, campaigns like this, and plenty more. We're working on it. We're coming at it from so many sides just to make change, to do better. And why do we need change? Diversity. Why is diversity so important? A lot of reasons. But let's start with this. Technology is everywhere, pervasive even. We probably can't stop technology from wriggling into everything we live, breathe, and do. But we can guide technology toward an inclusive future. Remember how we're coming at this from all sides? Diversity of lived experiences can better inform the needs of the future. Diversity of people can better inform the design decisions that make what we use today. Computers with accessibility features, AI algorithms that don't focus on just one skin color, data that's more holistic. But most importantly, diversity, visibility, helps make people feel like they belong. Seeing someone who looks like you in a position you never thought you could be in is beyond comprehension. Seeing them pave the way for an inclusive future, a future that includes you, is humbling as it is inspiring. We don't often recognize that's what they're doing, or the risks they take. Those that push forward have done so, and do so the future can stand on their shoulders. And it's standing on shoulders all the way up. Kind of like world turtle theory. Alright, diversity is important. So why should you, a student, whether you're in school, self-taught, or curious, why should you value computer science? Computer science, programming, it's everywhere, and it's really cool. It's the ability to tie worlds together, taking data from the real world, temperature or humidity, and being able to guide a computer, a robot, to tend my plants for me when I'm out, or tell me, hey, bring an umbrella today. There's other worlds, like bringing to life complex video games, and stories, and unique gameplay to a console or PC. But those are just some of the ideas of what you can do with it. You can be anything. A web designer, a video game developer, a robot creator, a scientist doing everything science fiction has ever dreamed. There's so many options out there, and more that don't exist, yet. Programming isn't limited to just that, though. It can be used everywhere, from business to space exploration, or even doing odd jobs to help the people around you. People don't talk a lot about tying your imagination to computer science, but that's changing too. The possibilities are truly endless when you have an idea. But honestly, you don't even need that much. All you need to do is start learning, because when you have that idea, you'll have everything you need. And finally, why should you, a student, a company representative, an entrepreneur, or whoever's listening, value this whole message? I firmly believe anyone can learn computer science, but only if they have the resources they need to get started. Resources aren't just tutorials online or K-12 outreach programs or even college courses. It's mentorship, unwavering and non-judgmental support. It's involving and emphasizing a diversity of people, lived experiences, and more. It's learning from the past, from current research, and pushing for a better future for us all. The benefit isn't just happier customers for being seen, but happier employees who want to stay, and potential that eagerly wants to join the mission toward a new world. I hope this campaign continues to elevate voices, to acknowledge the past, the present's needs, and push for a fulfilling future where computer science can be leveraged by all in innovative ways. Technical skill benefits everyone. Within this pandemic, the conversation about access to technology and the knowledge on how to use it and many other accessibility issues have moved to the forefront of conversation. But it's not enough. So often, change in the classroom comes from teachers' own pockets. I'm glad to see this campaign working to mitigate that, but I'm expecting more campaigns to address different needs within technology, such as allyship, inclusiveness, and more. And I should emphasize, this isn't the last step, or even the first. It's one step and a lot of other steps. It's shoulders to stand on, all the way up.